colleague.
And a very good morning to you. This is Newsline. We're live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dorset Street in Colombo. And to bring us up to speed on the campaign trail and the issues and the challenges perhaps even being faced, we've got with us a member of the SLPP, although the name's slightly changed. We'll find out.
We are contesting under Pohottuwa.
Okay.
And for this election, party name is not stated in the ballot paper. It is the name of the candidate, Gotabaya Nandasena Rajapaksa, Pohottuwa symbol. You have to vote for Pohottuwa symbol.
What do you want, an X or a 1 or a 2 or a 3? What do you want? What do you want them to put?
We shouldn't be misleading people.
Right.
X.
X.
Yeah.
But if you're using X, you can't have any other preferences. You need to use, if you are using your preferences, you need to use 1, 2, 3. Otherwise, if you use more than one X,
the feeling that I get.
Yeah.
Even yesterday I was with the people going around. People in this country have decided that they have no other choice than Gotabaya.
Right. Okay. And where exactly were you? Where was this?
I was in Balapitiya.
Okay.
Yesterday I had 25 meetings till 10:30 in the night.
A good constituency as any to get votes for your candidate, isn't it, down south?
Well, down south, it's a unique electorate because that's the hometown of UNF candidate Sajith Premadasa as well.
Right. Well, down south is...
No, Balapitiya is where President Premadasa hails from.
Right. I see. Tell us, in your campaign trail, so you're doing like 25 little meetings yesterday?
Yeah.
So these pocket meetings are very important, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Right. So
I was able to interact with the people. I could understand the pulse of the people.
And what is the pulse of the people? What are they saying? What do they want from you guys? You guys as in you politicians. What do they want?
They want a change because people in this country are not happy. They have lost confidence in the government.
Right.
They have lost confidence in the Prime Minister. People want a change.
Right.
They want national security to be strengthened.
Yeah.
They want to uplift the economy. They want a future for their children. They want to finally be happy.
Right.
There is no happiness in the faces of Sri Lankan people as of now. So what they want is to make them happy as they were in this country.
So you want to put the smile back in?
Absolutely. That's
what it's all about.
That is our main motive, and that our manifesto is targeting finally a smile in the face of every Sri Lankan.
Right.
That's our way forward. That's our final expectation. And
on Newsline, we encourage you to send us your SMSs, your questions by SMS even. 0772 300 305. We may even have a card on there, but if we don't, 0772 300 305. Send us your questions. And our guest, of course, this morning is Mr. Chandima Weerakodi from the SLPP. What are the main issues that people are talking to you?
Well, economy is as of now the biggest issue for the people. I mean, people are concerned about national security. They are worried. Even yesterday when I was going around, there were army personnel outside schools. So they are still concerned about what's going to happen to their children, what's going to happen to their lives, supposing there is another explosion.
Right.
That's I felt when I associate people very closely. And yesterday at the meetings, we could interact with them as well. Like not only yesterday, like all these days, I have been going around addressing people across my district till close to midnight.
Right.
So they are like very unhappy.
They're unhappy because They don't have jobs, or
now, if you look at now, if you go, like day before I was in Tavalam in Hindu Electorate.
Yeah.
And previous day I was in Badegama. So those are areas with tea plantation.
Yeah.
Then yesterday in Balapitia there is cinnamon plantation.
Yeah.
And pepper plantation. These are our main export crops.
Right.
Especially when the dollar depreciates, rupee depreciates.
Yeah.
They benefit. Because since those are export crops, the prices tend to go up in rupees.
Yeah.
But all the prices of all those products have dropped.
Yeah.
So people, I mean, they don't even pluck pepper, they said. The cinnamon is neglected, they don't peel. Rubber, now what they do is they fall trees. They cut trees.
They're cutting trees off?
They cut trees off. They don't do anything else. So it has gone to that level. It's so unfortunate. The economy has collapsed. And on this side now, yesterday, closer to the beach, the tourism industry is not doing well at all.
Right.
All those who are living on tourism are not doing well.
Right.
And they were complaining, those who are involved in construction industry.
Yeah.
They say that they can't find employment. And those who are into fishing, people say, the fishermen, I was in a few fisher community villages.
Right.
They find it difficult to sell their fish. It's so difficult. The lives have become so difficult. This is what, like I hear, what I heard when I met these people.
So, now all of these things happened in the last 5 years, is it?
Now, prior to that, look at the GDP growth. It was over 7%. Now, according to the Kumaraswamy, the central bank governor, it has dropped to 1.7.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in a country where the GDP growth has dropped so rapidly, what can you expect? And the price of onions, people were complaining, is about 300 rupees.
Yeah.
A kilo of rice is over 90 rupees.
Though I think that the price of onions has gone up because of weather conditions. It's a little bit out of the hands of the politicians, isn't it?
No, whatever, I mean, due to whatever reason, people find it difficult now, as of now, to purchase.
Yeah.
So if their buying power is reasonably high, they would have felt it.
Right.
But now, since, I mean, if you take now a kilo of bought leaf, is now about 80 rupees.
Right.
So if you have to buy 1 kilo of onions, you have to sell about 5 kilos of tea leaves.
Point taken. Now then, now you're talking about the questions that are coming in have to do mainly with security. So you're right. That's obviously even the people from your area and the people who are sending us questions about on the same wavelength. Now then, do you think that all this security presence, like you said, you know, army, guards, very open presence, do you think that all of these will suddenly disappear when your candidate Rajapaksa is
No,
elected?
I won't say that things will, you know, now if you take 2005, prior to 2005, everyone were living on pins. That was a time where two parents didn't travel in the same vehicle. People were so scared. But, you know, terrorism didn't come to an end in 2006. It took a reasonably a required period. But there was a finality. There was finally peace. There was finally an assurance on security. People in this country felt it. The international community felt it. The investors felt it. Investments came into the country. So what is now lacking is confidence. People are not confident. They don't have confidence in government.
So what I'm trying to figure out is if I vote for SP, you're saying that if I vote for GR, these things will be better, and SP, by implication, what you're saying is he doesn't know.
Well, it's like this. Now, this presidential election is held, it will be held under present existing constitution.
Yeah.
As per the provisions of this constitution,
Yeah.
president to be elected is not going to be almighty powerful.
Right.
The prime minister will also have some powers.
Right.
So you need a combination that can work together as president and prime minister.
Right.
Two people who can understand themselves, who will not always debate and try to...
So why not this combination? Sajid Premadasa and, let's say, Ranil Wickremesinghe. He's got over 40 years in Parliament, 25 years as leader, very seasoned leader, and you have a relatively youthful Sajid Premadasa with a cabinet minister's position, doing housing, and a super name to come to follow him. Isn't that the best?
Well, we have been living in this country. Had if Ranil Wickremesinghe is acceptable to the people with his long years of experience and as the leader of the UNP, why didn't he come forward as the candidate? He contested in 2005.
It's probably strategy, but actually
no, it's not strategy, because it was obvious. Every Sri Lankan knew that he was trying his level best to contest. But unfortunately, finally, Sajid Premadasa had to be accommodated due to the pressure that came within the party. That's the real, that's the truth. So Ranil had to step down. He didn't do it on his own. And also thereafter, in Sajid Premadasa's campaign, he very clearly gave the message that it's not going to be Ranil who's going to be his prime ministerial candidate. That is what the people expected as well.
There you go.
But unfortunately, but I mean, we must be thankful to Ranil Wickremesinghe. The day before postal votes, he came out on his own and said that he will be the next prime minister, or rather the prime ministerial candidate of Sajid Premadasa.
Yeah, but
as a result of that, yesterday, the postal results were in our favor. People
estimated
over 80% or more in most places.
That's it. I want to say this. You yourself have now said that there was a pressure, a natural pressure for Sajid Premadasa. Don't you think that now that he's overcome one of the biggest obstacles, as in the leadership and the nomination for the candidacy, especially the candidacy, don't you think that that pressure will now envelope your entire campaign? Because people will say, yes, we've got Premadasa.
No, that's what I told you. I was going to tell you. Premadasa, had he been the presidential candidate in 1994, certainly he would have been able to convince people. But here, he's not going to be, whoever is not going to be an executive president as it used to be.
You see, there's one thing, sorry to come in here because I'm going to say something which you might change what you're going to say. There's another reason why RW, Ranil, didn't come forward as the candidate, especially this year, and that is what? I'll give you 1 second if you tell me the answer.
No, he knows. Had he come forward, he would have lost.
No, he knows that he cannot match the investigative skills of the journalists and analysts here at News First. because we've heard, you know, that's probably one of the big reasons. Because it's got a lot to do.
But it's relevant as of now also. I saw in a cartoon as to why you're silent about bond scandal now.
Right.
Now, Prime Minister
Yeah.
himself, who's going to be the Prime Minister is also going to be very important in this country under the present constitution. So that is why we say now the Prime Ministerial candidate and the presidential candidate that we have put forward have proven themselves.
But is there some
eradicated.
Somebody's asking me, is there some Jilmart going on? Because how do you know, how are you so sure that you've got 80% of the postal votes? Did they stuff the boxes, is the question they're asking.
We are with the people. Insert now.
So therefore you were able to stuff the boxes?
Not stuff, people come and tell us. This is, and a lot of people told me that they were like in two minds till Ranil Wickremesinghe announced the fact that he's going to be the next Prime Minister. He said, if he's going to be the Prime Minister, we decided that we should vote for Gotabaya Rajapaksa in order to protect this country from Ranil Wickremesinghe.
I see. So you're quite confident that the people will... this is other thing, another question. How are you so sure that GR, as president, will be able to stop the bombs? Are you all behind that too?
That's the biggest joke. I mean, people are not so stupid to believe in such fabricated stories. I mean, these are people who put their neck out to eradicate terrorism. And that gave them recognition, that brought them respect as people who have eradicated terrorism. And they did it not for anything. They did it for the love of the country. They thought that it is what is expected by the people. When M.R. Mahinda Rajapaksa president was elected in 2005, what did people expect? They wanted a peaceful country. They wanted terrorism eradicated. So we worked for that. As of now,
it's a mantra which everybody, just everybody in the country is grateful for the fact that whoever was in charge there, politically, administratively, and militarily, finished off the problem against terror, yes. But I think people obviously got quite fed up of this mantra, you know, the whole time, we won the war, we won the war, instead of getting on with reconciliation and post-war things. Now then,
let me answer that. Once terrorism was eradicated, development commenced in this country. Look at the, I mean, if you may go back, look at the infrastructure development that took place. Look at the city of Colombo. Colombo, as Gotabaya Rajapaksa as the Secretary of Urban Development, he developed Colombo, he changed Colombo, he beautified Colombo. And Colombo at that time was...
And Colombo is still voting for the United National Party.
No, I believe this time people of Colombo will be grateful for what was done.
Rosie is as green as they come. She's holding sway at the CMC. Whatever said and done,
I mean,
whatever said and done,
you can't compare municipal elections with the presidential election.
No, of course we can't, but it's a good indicator. But here you go. This is a very relevant question. Even if candidate Rajapaksa becomes the president, even if...
He'll become the president, not you just...
All right, but, let's presuppose that he does.
He becomes,
We will then know that he has to... How's he going to get on with Ranil Wickremesinghe? Ranil Wickremesinghe is going to be the Prime Minister.
No, Ranil Wickremesinghe will, in 2 months, Ranil Wickremesinghe, he is known to be a gentleman. So the moment people reject him, reject his candidate and the party...
He wasn't so much of a gentleman. He hung on to their life at the...
he claims to be... that will be the test. He will...
But how... No, the question is...
When people reject you...
Do you acknowledge that if presupposing Rajapaksa too becomes president, Prime Minister will be Ranil Wickremesinghe.
No, I mean, look at what happened in 2015. We had 162 members
Yes, that
on our
was
side.
before the 19th Amendment.
No, like even otherwise, we didn't go to challenge. People gave a mandate to President Sirisena. So we were rejected by the people. Then we didn't go to challenge that. I suppose Ranil Wickremesinghe will not stoop down to that level as a senior politician. I believe he will, the following day, he will step down and go back home. That's what should happen in this country.
Right, there's loads of questions here. Let's take this question here. Chandrika will be meeting with Sajid to join him. What will happen to the SLFP voter base then? How will it be divided?
Nothing will happen.
Why?
With the greatest personal respect to my former leader, there is no one who's willing to join her.
If we're talking about being gentlemanly, and she's been extremely ladylike, and she's not caused too much of colourblindness or anything like that, she's been watching, perhaps with great distaste as to what's going on.
No, that's a personal, personal issues between leaders will not be considered by the people when taking decisions. So I would have been happier had she remained on our camp, because SLFP
but it does say
was
something.
Created by SLFP.
It does say something, doesn't it?
SLFP was formed by late Honorable S.W.R.D. Bandaranayake to promote
having
policies,
crossed over from the United National Party.
Having crossed over from the United National Party to promote policies that are people-friendly, that are not extremist like the UNP. So that was a party that was formed for the people who have not been looked after by the policies of the UNP. So I don't think it is reasonable, it's fair by his daughter to support a party that is against the expectations of the camp that she represented, of the camp that elected her twice as the president.
Now then, the people's questions are driving the program this morning.
Yeah.
Right? So here we go. The only thing the people saw, and is this fair? I'm asking a question. Is it fair to say that only thing people saw was the development of the one company during the last 2005 to the end of 2014? It's called, that company is called the Rajapaksa and Co.
I mean,
the family.
Well, if you think Sri Lanka is owned by a family, that is certainly so. I mean, you have seen development in this country. You have seen the change in this country.
But
you have seen how
it felt. Ask you this question.
Yeah.
You had this family that's rather well developed now.
Yeah.
Right? You just look at the optics from above. You have this tiny, sleepy fishing hamlet called Tangol.
Yeah.
And you have a lawyer who champions human rights and all sorts of things. That was a big ticket then. Yeah. And then, he becomes the president. And then the family develops. It's a formidable family business.
Wait,
I haven't finished.
Yeah,
I haven't finished. In the meantime, the country, they finished off the terror problem comes to an end, and then here's where it could have been payback time for the people, and the people, I'm sorry to say, haven't had any payback time.
Yeah.
Concrete and buildings and tarred roads, bitumen, paved roads, and all that is necessary, but so is the happiness. You spoke about happiness. Yes. So the happiness.
Now can I answer?
Please.
Now, your story commenced halfway through. It was not Mahinda Rajapaksa who took to politics from that family.
Are you frightened of the family?
No, I'm not frightened of the family. I'm not at all frightened of the family. What I'm telling you is, it was D.M. Rajapaksa, George Rajapaksa's father, Nirupama's grandfather, who was first elected to parliament from that family. It was thereafter Mahinda Rajapaksa's father, and then the brothers, none of them,
The family wasn't very well developed.
none of them came on the national list so far. What I'm telling you is, I mean, if people, the most popular single person in this country, the individual in this country, is none other than Mahinda Rajapaksa. There are other members, I mean, we are all related in this country, majority of us. But if people don't want a person, whether he's from a family or whether he's outside the family, people can reject them.
No.
So what I'm telling you is,
Yeah.
if Rajapaksas have got into parliament through national list, that's wrong. But any one of them, anyone in this country, any citizen in this country can get elected. So it is up to the people. If they feel so, if they think, okay, there you get too many from one family in parliament, it is up to them to decide. You can't, I mean, once again I reiterate, had they come on the national list, that's wrong. None of them have come on the national list, and none of them will come on the national list.
Except, let's see, we're having such a terribly nice chat that we'll see if our producer can give us about 5 minutes extra time. In the meantime, whilst they're doing that, many questions from the public, and obviously we've spurred public debate, which is a very good thing. Sajid Premadasa, the candidate, has made it clear in his statements, even after his party leader said that he would be Prime Minister, he said, Sajid Premadasa said, no person with a question mark will serve in his cabinet. Now that's a very, let's take it at that face value. It's a very powerful statement. And yet I see candidate Rajapaksa being surrounded by people who have got question marks. Now,
can I answer the question?
Yeah.
Now Sajid Premadasa says that.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, but
I haven't seen. Wait,
I'll answer the question.
Yeah.
But Ranil Wickremesinghe, being the leader of that party, openly says he has declared himself as the prime ministerial candidate and the prime minister in an event Sajid Premadasa wins.
Well,
but at the same time, and
yeah.
it shows, what is important, like I told you, is it's obvious that these two are clashing. They are not in agreement as of now as candidates. So that is why this country now, in this government, also present government, what happened to the country? Because the two heads were clashing.
You know what
because
you're
the
saying.
let me answer. Since the two heads were clashing, country collapsed financially, economically. It happened to this country came into this situation due to the clash. Now the clash is obvious in that camp. So therefore, irrespective of political commitments, this combination must be rejected. But on the other hand, Gotabaya Mahinda Rajapaksa combination is working together. They are in agreement. They have proven themselves in achieving results. But at the same time, you know, this solution is at two levels. Now, at the presidential election, Sajid Premadasa combination has to be rejected because they are not in agreement. They can't see eye to eye. Mahinda Rajapaksa, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, they are in agreement. But at the same time, if you say there are shady people behind,
yes,
there will be.
That's the problem.
No, so there is a solution for that. There is a solution.
Yeah.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa has very openly said, if there are people who are not acceptable to the people behind him, closer to him, they must be rejected at a future parliamentary election, which will be held in 3 or 4 months. So it is again in the hands of the people. People in this country.
Yes, but there are some who are not even, who have never served in parliament and who aspire to do that or to aspire to have some top job during a potential GR presidency. And those people, we are told, are going to be given nominations to try their luck out. I don't think that anybody with a big question mark hanging over their head or being out on remand needs to be given a chance to go to Parliament. Shouldn't it be the other way around?
Yeah, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Now, during last elections,
Yeah.
SLFP is the only party that took such decision. They decided to prevent people against whom there had been allegations that are not proven, though, not to allow such people to contest. We decided as a party not to allow 4 candidates, 4 sitting members to contest. But look at now, 2 of them are on Sajid Premadasa's stage. I mean, is it what's going to happen? We reject at a greater cost. Had they contested, they would have won. But now, when you see 2 of such people on the UNP stage, what can people expect from that side?
First of all, I want to say this to you. Because you didn't let me finish my trail. The trail is this. I told you that there are people around candidate Rajapaksa who have never been in politics per se, certainly not elective politics. Okay, look, we don't want to beat around the bush. I'll just say it out. Nalaka Godeheva, right? He was appointed to head the SEC when he was actually being investigated for his role in that awful act called pumping and dumping. Let me say this. And you can see that the then President, Mahinda Rajapaksa, either he had a pretty good sense of humour or he had a perverse sense of humour, because he appointed a person who was under scrutiny by some shape or form to head the SEC, for heaven's sake, right? And then all you have to do is have a look at it. And now we find he's the Godeheva who was involved in the Krish transaction, all sorts of things. These are not allegations because
I mean, they are, of course, there are allegations, but those has to be proved. Those will have to be proved first. And at the same time, he has not been nominated as a candidate as of now.
So he's acting pretty much like that.
No. Everyone can act.
And it is just like Ranil Wickremesinghe.
But now I'm telling you, Gotabaya Rajapaksa has made it very clear. If there are people around him who are even closer to him, people can reject them.
You said about Ranil Wickremesinghe saying that, look, he's going to be the Prime Minister. It's like it's another statement from him. Just like he said he became part and parcel the self-appointed Monetary Law Act. He suddenly became the Monetary Law Authority. I insisted on the change on the bond system. He said it, not me, not Sirasa. He said it in Parliament, right? So it's one, his statement, he's feeling a little bit left out. He's slipping away at the edge.
He's not so. Now, what did he do after he got elected? After he got elected as the Prime Minister in 2015, first thing was to incorporate FCID, which is not, in my opinion, lawful. And there we have evidence to say that he chaired the meeting, for which few of his ministers were invited, and the Attorney General of this country and the Director General of the Bribery Commission, together with other police officials, were summoned, and he dictated as to how to prioritize filing action against selected individual. I mean, he went to that extent and he did it.
Again, these are comes as allegations. But what I do want to say is that, when it came to this self-appointed Monetary Law Authority, not Act, self-appointed, Mr. Wickremesinghe and his cohorts played with the people's money.
Absolutely.
Now then, therefore, when candidate Premadasa says, I am not going to have any such people, it is obvious what he is saying, because the people of Sri Lanka are pretty well educated, and they have a literacy rate that is in the 90s, right?
Absolutely.
And therefore they are not going to take anything more, coming from such self-appointed authorities. I insisted, and then
No, it's not a self-appointed authority. He is the leader of the United National Party. He's the leader of the alliance under which Sajith Premadasa is contesting. He is not a self-appointed person. He has been there as a leader for over 40 years with about 29 defeats.
You know, the thing is that as we go along in this campaign, and you can see that, and it's there for everyone to see, you can see the way former President Rajapaksa was speaking at that meeting, and he seemed, you know, the people are talking over there. They're not listening to him because they're probably tired of all these businesses. That MR has lost the shine.
No, not at all.
It appears that way because when you looked at the television, you're holding your head and saying, "Oh my God, is it really?" And he's lost. He's like trying to hang on to passing straws.
This is a clear misrepresentation. What do people want? Why was this party created? All for the love of Mahinda Rajapaksa. People want him back in power because people are desperate. I'm telling you that due to people's desperation, they want a game changer. They want a person who can deliver. They want a person who can bring happiness. Only replacement that they see is none other than Mahinda Rajapaksa. I mean, these are facts
so Gota is just a proxy.
No, not a proxy. You need a presidential candidate. You need a president who can deliver, who can understand the pulse of the people, and who can take decisions, who can take the country forward. And this country should have a man with a vision. We have not been able to introduce latest technology into this country.
You're not going to create market sentiment by having people who are perceived as not being straight around you. You know, think about it.
Yeah, I'm telling
you. Which foreigner is going to invest in Sri Lanka's capital markets when he knows, he Googles it all there and he sees that they appointed somebody who was being looked into to head the SEC. It's a gross mistake. And there's nothing, Chandima, to suggest that they've changed that.
As far as I'm telling you, no person who has had such bad name will not be brought back to those positions. I mean, whoever can support, whoever can vote, but finally when it comes to selecting to positions, shady people who have had such, who had been into such transaction will not be accommodated, because this future government is not just governed by the people elected or the president. There are hundreds of thousands of professionals who are involved in the process. It is the professionals who formulated policy. They are behind us. They are watching us. They are there to see to it that the policies are implemented in such a way that is acceptable to the public.
I think there's absolutely there's no traction in that at all. I'm being polite there. Now then, because I wanted to say something. It's a bit like BS really, because you know Nalika Godaheva is virtually on every stage. He's there, the first amongst everybody else, comes and sits there, takes prime position and all that. And we can see it. And I don't know why candidate Rajapaksa can't see it. But can I end the question?
No, but he's only a speaker. But Ravi Karunanayake is also on stage.
I'm trying my hard. I'm trying to finish. But I want to ask the last and final question, please. Do you accept that Ranil Wickremesinghe and Mahinda Rajapaksa protected each other?
I mean, Mahinda Rajapaksa doesn't have to get protection from anyone. He gets people's protection. Of course, Ranil Wickremesinghe expects protection, as I see.
And he has got it. He's got it from MR from time to time, including the time. Do you remember they paved the roads in front of Srikota?
Faraj, look at the favours that he's doing to us. With his statement the day before postal votes, we could command support of the majority of the postal voters. So, I mean, he has to be declared a protected species in this country.
Well, good luck on the campaign trail, Chandima Weerakkon. It's been good having you here. But do look into these. Today's program, if anything else, I'm sure will help you convey the message to your candidate that there are some questions about the baggage that surrounds him.
Those will be looked into.
And they must be looked into.
And finally, at a future parliamentary election, people can decide against those whom they think as people who are.
And then the other thing is, Chandi Mavirakodi, we really want you to be very liberal with the truth rather than being economical. Because if you're more liberal with the truth, it's called the truth. When it's being economical with the truth, it's a nice British way of saying that these are lies. So,
no, we are very liberal.
So you need to be rather
liberal. No, we are very liberal. That's why we say. That is why we say people can finally decide, and none of these are nominated even as candidates.
Right, here we go.
You
heard it right here on Newsline from Chandi Mavirakodi. Thank you very much. And that's the way it was on Newsline this morning. Thank you. Take care. And God bless.
Candidates also declared till last.